I've been on my hair journey for 7 years, and over these years, I've made changes to my regimen as my hair grew longer. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Here in this channel, we'll talk about relaxed hair growth tips, protective styling, and so much more concerning the hair topic in general. So, if you know you're interested in this type of content, consider subscribing to join the family. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to achieve your hair goals for 2022. So, without further ado, we are just going to get started. But before we do, don't mind the way my hair looks right now. I know it's looking kind of rough. And that's because I'm on a protective style challenge in case you are new here, and I think I've had this braids in for over 2 months now. I don't really know, maybe almost 3 months. I'm going to come back and give a protective style challenge updates later, so make sure to stay tuned for that. So I'm actually using wigs for this protective style challenge, not braids. My braids are usually underneath my wigs, and by the way, there are no extensions whatsoever. This is just my hair, and I'm thinking I may have to refresh these braids very soon because of how it's looking. Like there is a lot of new growth, and I think I just have to refresh them because I am still over a month away from my goal. So I don't know, let's just see how it goes. Any how it goes, I'm going to come back and update you guys. So back into today's video, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to achieve your hair goals for 2022. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is set goals, okay? Because as for all goals, there's no way you're going to achieve a goal if you don't even have a goal. If you are like, okay, let's just see how the hair goes, let's just see what the hair has to offer. If you go with that mindset, things may always be on the negative because you don't even have a goal to begin with. So how are you going to work towards it? So the first thing is to set a goal. It could be a simple goal as to make my hair healthier. It could be like getting from mid-back length to waist length. It could be getting from waist length to hip length. That would be complicated. It could be something as simple as trimming off all your dead ends gradually. So set a particular goal, okay? Don't just flow with the year with the mindset that things are just going to fall into place on their own. No guys, it doesn't work like that. I got this far on my hair journey because I set a goal. Every year I have a goal for my hair. Every protective style challenge I take, I have a goal for my hair. Every relaxer stretch challenge, I have a goal for my hair. So always make sure to set goals for your hair. Like I said, it mustn't be something complicated. Now moving on, the next tip I'm going to be talking about is make your goals realistic. Okay, if your hair is currently at shoulder length, you can just wake up and say, okay, now I want to set goals for my hair. For this year, I want to get from shoulder length to hip length. That is not just gonna happen. That is not feasible. So when you're gonna set goals, set realistic goals. If not, if you set unrealistic goals during the way, there is no how you are gonna give up because there is no way you are going to be able to achieve that goal. And when the progress you are seeing is not as much as your unrealistic expectations, things are going to fall apart. Okay, you're going to get discouraged, you're going to feel your regimen is not working, and you're going to give up. So always make sure to set realistic goals. So moving on, the next tip I'm going to be talking about is to write your goals down. I know I'll be talking about setting goals. Don't worry, the next tip is not going to be related to setting goals. So make sure to write your goals down, because if you just wake up at the beginning of the year like most of us do and just get all excited, motivated by the new year, you know, that rush of adrenaline associated with the new year, and you have a bunch of goals, hair goals in your head that you didn't put down. As with other goals, not just with hair goals, you find out that later, if you don't keep reminding yourself of the goals you set for yourself, you are going to fall off track. you are even going to forget the goals. So it's very important that you write your goals down, because when you write your goals down and you put them especially in a place that you can see them every day, it kind of motivates you, reminds you that I have to do this. And when you see something every day, it kind of gets imprinted into your subconscious that even when you don't consciously think of it, you find yourself taking action subconsciously to put these goals into place or to achieve these goals. So always make sure to write down your goals. Another way you can use, if you don't want to write them down, is to kind of make the goals visible, like on your phone or your computer, or something you use every day. Like you can make it your wallpaper, so that when you open your phone every day, you are going to see that goal and be reminded of that goal. So always write your goals down. It mustn't be hair goals alone. Every single goal you have, or your New Year's resolutions, or your plans for this year, it's always nice that you write them down, because when you see them every day, you're going to get more motivated to achieve those goals. I know there is a feeling of excitement and joy when you write down goals, like when you see them every day and you're actually carrying out or taking actions to achieve those goals. Like when you remember when you wrote those goals down compared to where you are presently, you see how far you've come, like your progress, and you even get more motivated to achieve that goal because you are closer to your goal compared to when you started. So the next step I'm going to be talking about is take action. Okay, you may have written down lovely, fantastic, realistic goals, put them on your wallpaper, stock them on your fridge, or stock them in a place in your apartment where you could see them every day. But if you don't take action, the goals are just useless. Because what was the purpose of setting the goals if you were not going to achieve them? Don't be passive about your goals. The reason why we set goals is to strategize, to plan, to know how we are going to get there. Setting goals is just the first step in the journey. There are tons of things you have to put into place to make those goals actualize. Now, this is going to lead to my next tip. One of the ways you can take action is to calculate the time frame needed for your goals to be actualized. For example, if you said, I'm going to gradually trim off my dead ends completely this year, you can make the calculations. If you have like 6 inches of dead ends or damaged ends, you can try to say, okay, at the end of every month, I'm going to trim off half an inch, so that by the end of the year, you know that your damaged ends are all gone. Or if you want to say, okay, in 6 months' time, I want to trim off my dead ends, you can then decide to trim off 1 inch per month, so that by the time it's 6 months, your dead ends are all gone. That's the beautiful thing about having a time frame, because it actually makes your goals more realistic compared to when you just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to trim off 6 inches of hair this year and just wait for when you get comfortable to start trimming them. So to make your goals more realistic, break them down into bits, set a time frame for them. You can even decide to say, okay, I'm going to trim my damaged ends off in 3 months. That's it, I'm not going past 3 months. Then you divide it 2 inches every month, and by 3 months your dead ends are gone. So that's the lovely thing about setting goals. This same thing can actually be used when you want to see length retention too, like grow your hair from one length to another. For example, if you want to get your hair from shoulder length to mid back length, all you have to do is calculate, depending on your height, the number of inches you will need to add to your hair to get from shoulder length to mid back length. Then when you get that, you are going to have to compare it with the rate of your natural hair growth in a month. Some people's hair growth is half an inch, some is quarter of an inch. If you decide, okay, this year I just want to grow 2 inches of hair, just 2 inches, and your natural rate of hair growth is quarter of an inch, in 8 months you can actually achieve that. So setting a time frame does not have to do with trimming alone. You can apply it to every single part of your hair goals, any single type of hair goal. Now the next thing I'm going to be talking about is develop a regimen and stick with it, okay? Because you can't expect your hair to grow or flourish differently from the way it did last year, and you still continue to use the regimen of last year, like what are you expecting? Of course you're still going to get what you got last year. So develop a new regimen. If your current regimen is working for you, beautiful, just stick with it and continue on that regimen. But if the current regimen you are using is not favorable for your hair, then sit down, strategize, and get a new regimen for your hair. And it's not just about getting it, stick with it. Okay, now I get a lot of questions in my DMs about people asking how to create a regimen. If you don't know this, I'm going to make a video on this very soon so that you will know how to develop the right regimen for your hair, because everybody's regimen should be different and suited to your hair needs. You may use the same regimen I'm using and not get results. For example, talking about my hair care products, you can decide to use my hair care products, because most of my products are from Profectiv Mega Growth line. Now imagine you have protein sensitive hair, and because you say I use Profectiv Mega Growth in almost all my routines and all that, and you decide to do the same, you're going to come out in massive breakage, because the Profectiv Mega Growth line has protein in them, all their products, even their oils. So you can't have protein sensitive hair and use the same products. So everybody's regimen is different, and no one is going to come and build a regimen for you. So that's why you are there, that's why you are with your hair. No one knows your hair better than you do, so only you can tell the regimen that can actually work in favor of your hair growth and for you to see length retention. And I don't need to get scared about this, because I know a lot of us may have developed regimens that failed woefully. Guys, you're not going to get it at the first start, that's the truth. In fact, if this is your first time of creating a regimen, trust me, you may be lucky and everything will come out fine, but there's a high probability that that regimen is not going to give you the perfect results you are looking for. So it's all about trials and errors. I know I experimented a lot with different regimens when I just started my hair journey, to be able to get the perfect duration of my protective styles, the perfect duration of my relaxer stretches, the type of protective styles I should do, how frequently I should wash my hair, and all that. So you are not just going to sit down, especially if this is your first time, you can't just sit down, develop a regimen and expect everything to just go smoothly like that. It's smooth sail, unless you are very, very lucky. But more often than not, there are going to be some adjustments later on as you go on. That does not mean that your regimen is completely bad. It may just mean that you may need to make a few changes later in the future. So just start. That's the point of all this. Just start. Okay, when you start, you know how to go from there. But if you don't start at all, you will not even know the changes you need to make. So just start. When you start, you know what's working and you know what is not working. And another thing is, the regimen you use for your hair when it's short may not be the same regimen you use for your hair when it's longer. Okay, I've been on my hair journey for 7 years, and over these years I've made changes to my regimen as my hair grew longer. I can't use the same regimen I used when I was just starting out my hair journey. Okay, and that was why I was scared when I got to a growth plate, because I used the same regimen I think for the first 2 to 3 years of my hair journey, and I got stuck at mid-back length, and I was using the same regimen. So I was scared that, come on, this is the regimen that has been working for me, why isn't it working anymore? Does it mean that my hair is going to be at this length forever? That was when I started researching and found out that as your hair grows longer, you need to make changes to your regimen. So I made changes to my regimen, and my hair took off again. And as at my last length check, which I uploaded last year, I was at hip length. Somebody with my hair is looking right now, even though I'm relaxed, my hair shrinks up a lot. And if you are new here, you can watch my last video. But if you don't want to watch that, you definitely see when I do my next length check. You understand what I'm talking about. So yeah guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications so that you really first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.